As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I had to go with Steve Sarkisian, head coach, University of Texas. Rat poison. He's learned something from Nick Saban. Got to avoid the rat poison. And that's been the problem for Texas. We've seen at times that they play really well against good opponents, but they can't back it up. And UTSA is a dangerous, dangerous football team. If they don't show up ready to roll, UTSA can definitely beat them. So I had to make him the winner for at least recognizing that. But it must be nice, right, to lose a game at home, be 1-1, and have to tell the media that we can't listen to all the great things people are saying about us. Would we be in the same situation, honestly, if we hosted Alabama this year, played them to an incredibly tight game, Bama needed a field goal to win the game? Would we be singing the same tune? Because maybe we would. I don't know.
I think it wouldn't be at the extent it is with Texas, because Texas has been bad, right? I mean, they've been bad. They won 5 games last year. There would be the conversation would be different. I think the conversation, if OU were to play Bama like that, would be, we're probably going to see these two teams play again. I think that would be the conversation. I don't think anyone's really saying that about Texas. I think right now the conversation about Texas, I know certainly what I've been talking on my Big 12 show is, all right, show us the consistency now. That defense, hey, you played that way against Bama. Let's see you play that way against UTSA. And then let's see you play that way against Tech. And then West Virginia. And then Oklahoma. And then Iowa State. And then Oklahoma State. I have Texas' schedule in front of me. That's why. Were you like, wow, really? You got it memorized? No, it's right here. But I'm with you. It was good to hear that from Sarkisian, but it also was like, this is the most Texas thing ever.
Right. We got to avoid all the good things everyone's saying about, which I don't even know. Are people really saying a whole lot of good things, or is that them just thinking people are saying a bunch of good things? You know,
the way they played against Bama was impressive.
Right.
You and I, we gave as many compliments as we've ever given to a Texas team after that game. But the reality that Charles Wright may start at quarterback for them against UTSA. I mean, and there's some people that are dialed into that program saying that Hudson Card's status for that game is up in the air. Yeah. And that Charles Wright could be the guy starting. They could start their third string quarterback against the Roadrunners.
As long as they don't play Malik Murphy, I'm fine with it. Play whoever you want. We don't want that kid getting any snaps. We need him in the transfer portal.
Rat poison. All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
Okay, so, and I'm anxious to get your feeling on this. And there's been a lot of discussion about Scott Frost, and I continue to hear all across college football, all across anyone that talks about this sport in depth, about the Nebraska job. And there's 3 names I continue to hear: Mark Stoops, Matt Campbell, and Dave Aranda. And I don't understand why those names are getting brought up. Now, I think that Mark Stoops his agent may say, oh yeah, you know what? That may be some interest there. Like, what do you got for us to get a raise? Right. Same thing with Campbell, to get a raise. Same thing with Aranda. They're not leaving schools that are playing their all-time best football for a job that has been mired in dysfunction for a decade, that is also in the Big Ten, that also has to go through Ohio State, through Michigan, through Penn State, through Wisconsin. Matt Campbell and Dave Aranda, the Big 12 is about to get paid. Oklahoma and Texas are leaving. This is the best time they've ever had. They're not leaving those schools unless it's for a premier job. All three of those guys. Mark Stoops is in line for the next big SEC job that comes available if he wants it. And I don't even know that he'll want it. So I'm shocked that some of the names I keep hearing that are being thrown at Nebraska. Now I may end up being totally wrong, but I just don't see it.
One of the big things about you when you talk about the appeal of the Nebraska job, first of all, they're in the Big Ten. Nebraska can pay their coach a ton, right? I mean, so if you're Matt Campbell and they say, hey, we'll pay you $8 million a year. Now, reportedly, didn't he turn that down from the Lions or something like that?
Yeah, but that's my point, though. The Big 12 is about to get paid. They're about to get a big pay increase. Like, I could see him flirting with it to get a raise, but
the thing is, a lot of people in, kind of the TV world think that the Big 12's media rights payout per school is going to go down significantly once OU and Texas leave.
It may. I thought the one I heard was 55 million.
I'm just telling you, I've had Andrew Marchand on a couple of times on my radio show, and he thinks the future of the Pac-12 and their media rights payout is worse than the Big 12, but he's like, and either situation's great, right? Yeah. Because of how much value OU and Texas brought to the Big 12. But Baylor's got money. Iowa State's going to pay Matt Campbell what he wants. And one thing people, for whatever reason, people forget this. Coaches are human beings. They want to be happy. And Matt Campbell gets to do whatever he wants in Ames, Iowa. They don't make him do any media. He gets to do whatever he wants. They give him everything he wants. Mm-hmm. I've talked to Jamie Pollard, their athletic director, about it many times. Whatever he wants, he gets. They don't bother him. He just gets to coach football and live. And he gets to live exactly the way he wants, and they're winning at a decent clip. And winning makes people happy as well. Dave Aranda, he just won a Big 12 title. And Baylor's got money. Right? Matt Rule was getting paid before he left for the Panthers. And Dave Aranda is already, he's getting paid, and they'll pay him more if they have to.
Aranda's probably already $8 million or above.
And Mack Rhodes has talked about it plenty of times. Hey, we invest in our coaches. We'll do what we got to do to be competitive. And so
all of those jobs currently are better than Nebraska.
And they're going to get even better once OU and Texas leave.
Yes. And that includes Kentucky. Nebraska is a terrible job right now. It offers nothing except for a lot of money, which Frost had a lot of money. They were dumping a ton of money into the program, a ton of NIL stuff, building a new facility. They're dumping a ton of money there. It's not a good job. It's not in a good recruiting area. It's not in a conference where they're going to be able to dominate. It's not a good job. I know there's a ton of nostalgia with Nebraska football, but it has the same exact roadblocks that Iowa State football has, except Iowa State is at their peak and they're playing in a conference where the team that wins it every single year is leaving. It's a better job. I'm sorry to say that.
I'm with you. It's an interesting conversation. It's going to be really interesting to see who takes that job.
I know. I think I heard Toby talking about it this morning. Jim Leonard from Wisconsin, I think is an interesting, I think Nebraska can bounce back. I do, but it's going to have to be the route of hiring a coordinator from somewhere that's at a good school that can develop, that can recruit locally, hit on a couple of guys in the transfer portal and develop. whether people want to believe it or not, Nebraska is now a developmental program. That's what it is.
100%. Also, someone that maybe has a strong personality that can grab guys out of the portal, bring some talent, like infuse some talent quickly.
Portal's has to be huge for them.
Got to be huge. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. Thought about going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ted, because it looks like TJ Watt not going to need surgery on that pec. We thought when he walked off the field, said, I tore my pec. We all thought he was going to be out for the season.
As soon as he did it, I tore it. I blanked and tore it.
I tore it. But it sounds like he could be out as little as like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, probably more like 6. But it's not ideal, but it's pretty good that you're not losing the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year for the season.
And he was playing his ass off in that game too.
Oh my, yeah. He's really good at football. Like really good. So. I also thought about, how about a little baseball, Ted? I thought about going with Aaron Judge.
Are they still playing baseball right now? Is that?
They're playing. I watched it. I watched him hit a home run.
Wow.
On Tuesday. Number 56 and number 57 for Aaron Judge. Unreal. 5 home runs away from passing Roger Maris. He's got 20 games to go.
Whew. I think he'll definitely get to 60, which puts you in a very, very select group of individuals to hit 60 home runs in a season. And that boy's a free agent at the end of this year, right?
He is.
Turned down the extension.
Oh, he's going to be so rich. But I made my winner of the week SMU.
Okay.
Because the SEC has directed Georgia and Tennessee to not play their home-and-home non-conference series against the Oklahoma Sooners because, of course, the second of those non-conference games would take place after OU is already in the SEC, so it doesn't really make the schedule nice and easy and clean for when that transition happens. So OU has replaced the Georgia series with the SMU Ponies. Ponies coming to Norman in 23. Sooners going to Dallas in 2027. They're still working on replacing the Tennessee series, but all things considered, Ted thought SMU was a pretty solid replacement for Georgia. Listen, Georgia replaced us with Ball State, so it could have been that. So I'm pretty fired up that OU was able to make this thing work late notice and got SMU, and a lot of OU people in Dallas. So that it's going to be fun. And it's a team that we should beat twice. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating that happened. I was kind of shocked by it. I thought the Georgia game was really interesting. I don't know how they're going to do the pods or the schedule, if it's going to be 9-game conference. I don't know what's going on there, but I personally believe OU is going to be in the SEC next season. That's what I believe. And I think, did A&M play Georgia in week 2, or was that Missouri played Georgia in week 2 of whenever they first went to the SEC, and A&M, that's what they did last time, is they played the first SEC game out of the gate, hosting a pretty good SEC football team at their place whenever they first entered the SEC. So I thought it was going to just roll in naturally, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're of the belief that OU's going in 2023. I'm of the belief, because of how ESPN's deal, TV deal with the SEC lines up, I think it's going to be 2024. I also think that there's no way in hell Greg Sankey allows the Big Ten to have some big event, some marquee season with UCLA and USC coming in 2024. There's no way he lets that happen. But man, this caused quite the reaction from people before OU put the thing out about the SMU game. Man, the people were like, "Oh my God, it's happening."
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't know how to feel about it, right? I
was fired up for that game. I know that.
I know. I know, and that is upsetting, but it'll be replaced with like whether they're moving date or what, I don't know, but it's going to be replaced with something that's going to be really good.
Yeah, SMU, man.
Yeah,
taking on the ponies.
Well, we don't have. Who else do we play? There's only one other game. Are both games scheduled already?
I have no idea. Georgia was the headliner.
Yeah. I don't know.
OU schedule 2023. We're looking at it right now. It is Arkansas State, Georgia, Tulsa.
I was thinking Tulsa was in there.
Oh, wait, is that at Tulsa? That can't be right. Who cares? But SMU now. This is great podcasting. Incredible stuff right here. All right, for my loser of the week, thought about going with anyone that thought people were going to stop watching college football. Did you see the numbers for Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Alabama, Texas?
Yeah. Kind of decent, I would say.
Yeah, both averaged over 10 million viewers. First time since 1994 that you've had two games like that in the month of September. So turns out people still like watching other really athletic people run into each other.
Premier games, man. And, that's one of the things that we've been talking about for a while in college football is Sankey has said this, basically saying the same thing with March Madness, right? People want premier games. They turn the TVs on for premier games, and you're starting to see more of those matchups. I think the expanded playoff is going to continue to help some of those non-conference situations take place as long as we can get over the conference feud stuff.
Yeah. I also thought about going with Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury. He was suspended by the NBA for a year and fined $10 million. And this is a guy that already had the reputation of being possibly the cheapest owner in the league. And now everyone has seen the report and knows he's an absolute scumbag. I don't know if they're going to be able to force him to sell the team, but it will be kind of interesting to see how this affects the Suns moving forward when it comes to getting players. If he's still the owner, I could see some guys being like, don't want to play for that guy. But then again, if they're offering you, $46 million a season, and you get to live in Phoenix, I'm sure some guy will be like, yeah, I'll do it. But it's just a really weird situation, man.
Yeah, weird situation. I saw Silver's, like, some of his responses to it. He said that, like, there was some safeguards in place. Like, he didn't think they're going to be able to make him sell the team. I guess some people were saying that maybe the punishment was not enough. He said that he kind of trusted the panel that was put together to investigate the whole deal and to come down with all the rulings. So it is a fascinating situation for sure.
Yeah, but my loser of the week, and it's got nothing to do with his play, Von Miller. And I think he actually just started a podcast. Welcome to the business, Von.
Yeah.
He balled out against the Rams last Thursday night, right? Had a couple sacks. He was great. But his tweet about the Leonard Fournette block on Micah Parsons is ridiculous. I mean, and if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the play, Leonard Fournette chips Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons doesn't see him coming. He decleats his ass. I mean, strokes him, which happens. I mean, it's football. Blew him up. But yeah, it's whatever. Like, it happens. It happens relatively often in college, in the NFL. It's part of the game. Von Miller chimed in with this tweet. Quote, "This block must be taken out the game. This is the future, and we are just letting offense to tee off on our marquee pass rushers. You can get the job done without this much contact." What the hell? He cannot be serious. You can get it done without this much contact. Yeah, I'm sure, Vaughn, when you beat a tackle for the Bills, when y'all are playing on Monday Night Football, you're just going to take Tannehill down to the ground softly, right? mean, this is dumb as hell, man.
I think it's dumb. It's a chip block. It happens every game. Micah Parsons, unbelievable player, but needs to get his damn head on a swivel when you got the back offset to your side. They do not need to take it out of the game, but I'm sure this is Von Miller saying, I get fined if I do anything. If I touch the quarterback's helmet with my hand, if I'm trying to block a pass, if I fall on him too much, if I sack him below the waist, I'm sure this is him just reaching. But instead of making this illegal, they need to just not make all the other dumb things that are illegal that they already have illegal. Those should all be allowed in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't make more things illegal. That's not the answer.
The reason this isn't going to be made illegal, do you know who Leonard Fournette is chipping Micah Parsons for?
The old man, which he looked old in that post-game interview. Did you see that?
He did look a little old. Also, has he had some work done?
I don't know. It's the first time.
I think the personal issues are weighing on him.
Yeah.
I think the person, we don't need to dive into Tom Brady's personal life, but I mean, we'll see how the season goes. But yeah, he was protecting Tom Brady with the chip block, and this just in. The NFL cares about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The pass rushers are great, but they care about quarterbacks. That's what they care about. That's what people care about. So the chip's going to stay. And also, there are absolute creatures coming off the edge in the National Football League. You got to help O-linemen out somehow, man. And I guarantee you this, Ted. Von Miller, he's going to go on an ET, and he's going to earhole the absolute hell out of a guard and not feel bad about it.
Right.
Try to knock his head into his shoulder. Like, it's a physical game. It's a violent game, man. That ain't illegal. What are we talking about?
Nope, not illegal. Frankly, it has to happen. You know, if it wasn't for that block, a bunch of these rookie tackles out there would just be destroyed over and over and over. It's a necessity. For all you fantasy football fans out there, the chip block is a necessity.
Yeah, and I did enjoy the back and forth between Micah Parsons and Leonard Fournette on Twitter, but Von Miller's take was just awful.
Yeah, it's not like it's a blindside. Yeah, he didn't see him, but he lined up directly in front of him. You are staring him in the face whenever you line up before the snap. So it's not a blindside.
You got to knock Parsons' awareness rating on Madden down after that one. You got to see all 260 of Leonard Fournette, dude, looking thick but also looking good.
Yeah.
Oh,